Next, I'm going to be asking George Nee, who is the head of the Rhode Island AFL-CIO, to share some words. We in this labor movement are strong because workers never stand alone, and we're even stronger because unions also don't stand alone. We stand together with all of our other sisters and brothers. And so, George, you should be able to unmute yourself now. You're unmuted. Welcome, George.
Okay. Thank you. Good morning, brothers and sisters. On behalf of the Rhode Island AFL-CIO, you should know that the whole labor movement will be standing in solidarity with our brothers and sisters who are going on strike next week to do what they need to do in order to improve their lives. We're a family. And when some members of our family aren't being treated properly, when they're hurting, when they're struggling, it's incumbent upon us and the whole labor movement to stand with them so that we can all make progress. I feel a little sad because we're going backwards. It's not like we're going forwards enough, we're going backwards. I was involved in organizing both Charles Gate, Hopkins, and Waterman back in 1976. And in 76 through the 80s and into the 90s, Rhode Island had law and regulation in place outlining nursing home staffing based on the type of patient that was in the nursing homes. We lost that. We got to get it back. It was necessary. It was important, and it was the right thing to do. So not only do we have to make progress, we got to make up for some lost time. Now, I've heard some people say that this can't be about, you can't do both. You can't have better staffing and higher wages. That's nonsense, and it's irresponsible language. We have to have both, and we should have both. We can't separate this out and say we can do one, but we can't have the other. We have to use this time to challenge our political leaders and our business leaders to step up to the plate. You shouldn't be calling people heroes unless you're going to treat them like heroes. It's irresponsible to do that. Be honest. Say, look, we don't care how you're treated.
I didn't know what you was going to do, but it wasn't shocking.
But don't call me a hero and then treat me like dirt, which is what's been happening. The history. Yeah, we can't be passive, because being passive and being nice might appeal to some people, but it doesn't work. It never did, and it never will. So the question today is for our political leaders, our business leaders, our government leaders, and before I go a little further, I want to especially thank the Senate, Senator Goodwin and the leadership at the Senate for doing what they did, because they did step up to the plate. Very disappointed with the House. Notwithstanding Representative Slater's efforts, which have been heroic, they didn't step up to the plate. They ducked the issue. We don't need a study commission. A study commission isn't putting food on people's table or making their work better when they're working. That's nonsense, and it's an excuse, and it's not acceptable. So the question becomes for us today, when people are fighting and they're struggling and they're asking for our help, do we stand up? Do we show up? And do we speak up? And knowing the people on this call, I'd say the answer is yes. We've just got to make sure it's expanded beyond that. And on a day that we mourn and bury one of the great heroes in our country, I think, and some people have said this earlier, this is the time for good trouble and necessary trouble. And unfortunately for the workers right now, in order to make that happen, they're going to have to go on strike. They're going to have to make some people uncomfortable. They're going to disrupt the system, but it's good trouble and it's necessary trouble, and we should all be there to be part of it. Thank you. Solidarity forever. We'll be there every day with you.
Thank you, George. Again, we're very appreciative of the solidarity from our fellow sisters and brothers throughout the labor movement in Rhode Island and really across the country.